Lightness you're describing, Harry, is called being high. I mean, it brings new meaning to your highness. Exactly. I think that this is a dangerous
That's his
conversation.
new nickname, Your Highness.
From royal glam to Instagram jam, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's American dream is unraveling faster than the labels on their boutique fruit jars. What was once branded as a bold new era of independence and innovation has morphed into a painfully public spectacle of broken promises, crumbling facades, and rising concern. Meghan's lifestyle empire, American Duchess, was supposed to mark her triumphant return. A polished vision of elite branding meets rustic charm. Instead, it's being mocked as a Pinterest fever dream gone off the rails. And while Meghan plays Duchess turned maca, Harry is drawing even more attention for all the wrong reasons. His latest public appearances have sparked an entirely different conversation, not about business but about health, emotion, and whether the prince who once broke free is now quietly breaking down. The signs are there and the silence around them is deafening. Before we go any further, don't forget to subscribe. What you're about to hear might not be making it to the palace press releases, but it's what everyone's whispering behind the scenes, and it's getting louder. Let's start with the softest scandal that blew up louder than expected: the infamous fruit spread launch. Meghan's team teased a fresh batch of pastel-perfect products under the American Duchess brand, handmade jams, dainty sprinkle jars, and even a limited edition rose that practically screamed Instagram bait. But the execution, a disaster wrapped in a bow. According to Meghan's press release, the products sold out in minutes. In theory, that sounds like a hit. In reality, viewers refreshing the shop page saw everything marked sold out the moment the site went live. No loading lag, no rush, just immediate, inexplicable scarcity. It was clear something wasn't right. It didn't take long for observers to call out the stunt, accusing her of faking demand to manufacture hype. That kind of trick Medov worked during her first product rollout. But audiences are savvier now. The second time you pull the same rabbit from the same hat, people stop clapping. They start calling you out. The backlash was swift, brutal, and echoed across social media. Consumers don't like being manipulated, especially not in the middle of an economic squeeze. And Meghan's sold-out stunt reeked of privilege trying to sell relatability. But what truly sparked concern wasn't the product. It was Meghan herself. In the promotional footage meant to drive sales and spark buzz, she appeared different. Unsettlingly different. Her tone was flat, her smile strained. She avoided direct eye contact with the camera, something that felt jarringly uncharacteristic. For someone so media-trained, the energy was low, the lighting off, the framing awkward. Fans noticed, commentators noticed, even her staunchest supporters began asking the question, is she okay? Because this wasn't just a bad sales day, it looked like a deeper unraveling. Meghan, typically the polished, confident face of her own brand, seemed like she didn't want to be there at all. And once that seed of doubt was planted, the rest started falling apart. Enter Jamgate. Meghan proudly referred to her new product as jam in interviews and press, but the jam-making community, yes, that's a thing, wasn't buying it. Donna Collins, a respected name in preserves, reviewed the product and didn't mince words. According to her, the texture was all wrong. The ingredients weren't up to standard. Jam attempt. The criticism wasn't just technical, it was symbolic. In a market where authenticity matters more than ever, Meghan's aesthetic over substance approach was falling apart. A pretty label and a Duchess title aren't enough when your product doesn't hold up to scrutiny, and when the Queen of Jams says your fruit spread is a failure in a jar. It's more than just a bad review, it's a reputation-shattering verdict. While Meghan's brand was getting dragged across social media, Harry was facing his own set of whispers. His public appearances had become increasingly flat, his once boyish charm replaced by a vacant, almost robotic delivery. He seemed absent, disconnected, and worse, deeply troubled. It wasn't long before royal insiders started sounding the alarm. Speculation swirled. Had Harry relapsed into old habits? And now those old demons seemed to be creeping back. There was a single photograph taken in London, a still image, but it spoke volumes. Harry appeared disheveled, glassy-eyed, wandering, not the face of a man grounded in his new life. And while no one's confirming anything publicly, the rumors have grown persistent. That he's not well, that the pressure is getting to him, that the cracks in the California fairy tale are starting to split open, and the silence from Meghan's side isn't helping. Normally, their PR machine would be spinning narratives, producing content, controlling the conversation. Now there's a strange stillness. The smiles feel forced. The interviews are fewer. The distance is growing between the public and the couple, and maybe even between the couple themselves. The most chilling part is that Harry's unraveling doesn't feel hidden anymore. He's not giving passionate, Speeches, he's not doing heartfelt charity work. He's showing up with empty eyes and a confused cadence. This isn't tabloid sensationalism, it's the painful, visible descent of a man who once inspired millions. And as Meghan's brand continues to roll out sprinkle jars and soft filters, people are wondering, is anyone steering this ship? Even Meghan's business decisions seem erratic. One moment, she promises to stop the artificial scarcity strategy. The next, she does it again. First, she says nothing new will launch this year. Then, without warning, another drop hits social media. The strategy, if there is one, feels chaotic, impulsive, reactionary. There's no through line, no mission, just vibes and a title. The aesthetic, too, has grown tired. Pastel overlays, whimsical fonts, and captions that read like recycled Pinterest quotes. Cheers, dears might have sounded cute a decade ago. Today, it's hollow, out of touch, artificial. There's no Meghan in the messaging, no story, no soul. Just a pretty brand clinging to relevance. By mimicking trends it doesn't understand, even her most devoted fanbase, the so-called Sussex squad, is going quiet. Their once thunderous defense of Meghan and Harry has been reduced to awkward reposts and half-hearted promotions. Some allegedly tried to bulk buy the new product launch to boost numbers. But when screenshots surfaced showing an order limit of 6 jars, the narrative collapsed again. The hype wasn't organic. It was staged. And amidst all this noise, one voice remains notably absent: King Charles. But insiders say he's watching closely. Not for the branding failures or the public backlash, but because of Harry. Because even after all the drama, all the exits, all the headlines, he's still a father. And when he sees his son this lost, this distant, this fragile, it cuts deeper than any palace scandal ever could. According to royal sources, Charles is conflicted. On one hand, he wants to help. On the other, he's exhausted. Years of defending, covering, rescuing, only to be left blindsided by accusations and bombshell interviews. One insider described his stance as a quiet ultimatum. You made this mess. You figure it out. Not cruelty, just fatigue. A father who's run out of fixes. Because Harry's story isn't just about royal rebellion anymore. It's about emotional survival. The trauma of losing his mother. The suffocation of growing up in a fishbowl. The pressure of being royal. Then being ex-royal, it's lawsuit after lawsuit. A wife under constant fire. A brand that never found its footing. It's burnout. And everyone can see it except maybe them. But there's another layer to this unraveling money. For a couple that once declared they had been cut off from royal funds, rumors persist that Charles might still be quietly supporting them behind the scenes. It's a claim that, if true, completely reframes their so-called independence. Royal insiders speculate that while public payments may have stopped, private channels of support may still be open. A discreet monthly stipend, a silent inheritance trickle, not enough to sustain an empire, but just enough to prevent total collapse. If this is happening, it's not out of duty, it's likely out of desperation. A last-ditch effort to keep Harry afloat without attracting the scrutiny of the public or the wrath of the institution. But the patience of even the crown has its limits. The British public has made their position loud and clear. No more royal indulgence for Hollywood vanity projects. And Charles, ever the legacy-focused monarch, knows that bankrolling a brand meltdown is not a chapter. He wants written into his reign, while financial whispers ripple through royal corridors. A quieter but equally curious situation unfolds. Princess Eugenie, once considered the Sussexes' last link to the royal inner circle, she's kept a relatively low profile until recently. A photograph surfaced showing Eugenie at Royal Ascot alongside Misha Nanu, one of Meghan's closest confidants. The sighting reignited speculation: is Eugenie still acting as a bridge between Meghan and the monarchy? Some tabloids went wild, dubbing her the double agent princess, suggesting she's leaking info to the Sussexes or even helping orchestrate quiet reconciliations. But the truth may be simpler and sadder. Eugenie, like many caught between two fractured sides of a family, may just be trying to stay human in a system that demands loyalty to headlines over heart. She's close with Meghan, yes, but she's also blood. And when a family breaks this publicly, neutrality becomes a kind of resistance in itself. Still, the image of Eugenie and Misha together, smiling, elegant, calm, struck a stark contrast to the chaos surrounding Meghan's brand, and it sent a subtle message. Not everyone is playing the game. Some are just trying to survive it. As for Meghan, the deeper problem now isn't bad PR or weak sales. It's identity. Once hailed as a trailblazer, she's now struggling to define who she even is in the public eye. Is she royalty? A businesswoman? A social disruptor? A lifestyle Right now, she's none of those. Just a celebrity trying to push overpriced jam while the world watches her personal life crumble like stale scones. The media, once infatuated with her every move, has started to turn. Outlets that used to gush are now raising eyebrows. Supportive think pieces have been replaced with eye-roll commentary. The reason there's no emotional resonance anymore: everything she posts feels curated to the point of emptiness. Perfect fonts, soft colors, no substance, no voice, no story. Just the shell of a brand surrounded by a growing sense of detachment. And that's the fatal flaw. Branding only works when it's tethered to something real. A purpose, a mission, a truth. Meghan's brand, despite its pastel perfection, doesn't connect because it doesn't reflect anything grounded. It's a mood board with no message, a lifestyle cosplay performed in front of an audience that's already checking out. That emptiness is mirrored in Harry too. His public speeches, once heartfelt and passionate, are now stiff and distant. His presence, once magnetic, is now subdued. Insiders say his emotional distance isn't just stress, it's symptomatic. A reversion to the behaviors he's openly described in the past: isolation, numbness, emotional self-erasure. The coping mechanisms he thought he left behind may be knocking once again. This isn't internet slander. These are patterns. Harry himself has disclosed patterns now, seemingly playing out in real time. He said he used to drink to silence grief, to dull pain. He said he used drugs to feel something. And now, the vacant stares, the withdrawn posture, the halting speech, they all feel like echoes of that storm he once survived. The difference? This time, there's a spotlight on him, but no safety net. So what happens now? Can they turn this around? Because right now, there's no roadmap. Meghan's brand lacks structure. Harry's presence lacks spark. And the public, once curious, even compassionate, is rapidly shifting into apathy. And in this business, apathy is the kiss of death. Outrage means people still care. Indifference means they've moved on. If there's any chance at revival, it won't come from another jam jar or a filtered Instagram drop. It'll take honesty, a realignment, a strip-back moment that admits, yes, we missed it. Yes, we've struggled. Here's what's next. But that level of vulnerability has never been part of their strategy. It's always been polish over pain, image over insight. And yet, there may be no other choice, because the cracks aren't just visible anymore. They're growing wider. Meghan's brand is confused. Harry's energy is depleted. The family ties are fraying. And the public, they're watching. They're talking. But they're also questioning how much longer they should care if there's to be a comeback. A real one, it won't be built on the word Duchess or on the ghost of royal glory. It will need to be built on something they've long avoided: vulnerability, transparency, substance. So the question isn't, what are they selling? Anymore, it's who are they becoming? And unless they figure that out fast, there may be nothing left to sell at all. If you want the truth behind the curated Instagram posts, behind the filtered smiles, and behind the headlines, no one dares to print. Subscribe now, because what's coming next could change everything.